Bring in Invamed Associates Chairman and the co-founder of Home Depot, Ken Langone, with us this morning. Ken, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Your
Maria.
thoughts here. Here we are talking about the blame game from Hillary Clinton at a time when you've got the numbers coming out on the economy, 253,000 jobs created in the month of May, according to ADP. Your thoughts on where we are right now?
Well, first of all, the Democrats have to look in the mirror and say, why did we lose? Because they did lose the election. Okay, they
We're
lost.
still talking about this.
Well, they lost it. Okay, fair and square, they lost it.
Right.
Now, the question is, everybody concedes that the actual vote count was not tampered with. So the Russians didn't manipulate the vote numbers in Wisconsin and Michigan and wherever all these states were. So what did they do? Tell me how they manipulated our election. I don't get it.
Right.
So push that aside. That's noise.
Okay.
I'm as disappointed in the Republicans this morning as I am the Democrats.
You are?
And let me because you go around America like I do. People are working hard. People are worried. People are frightened. That vote last year should have been a wake-up call for both parties. The American people are angry. They're worried. They're concerned. And by the way, the job loss is not just immigration. It's not just related to immigration. The job loss is also technology.
Right. Robotics.
Well,
robotics are taking over a lot of.
But look at what we're doing. We're making sure that kids that come out of high school in America today, out of public high schools, are not qualified or not capable of meeting the challenges of technology.
Because we're not educating them properly.
Because these poor kids aren't getting an education.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to lay the blame all on education, but what I'm saying is, if there's ever been a need for America to pull together, it's now. It's now.
What do you think about the agenda? I mean, here we are, June 1st. A lot of people were expecting that we would be farther along in terms of health care reform, in terms of tax reform. President Trump's agenda is facing some derailment by both Democrats and Republicans, obviously. That's why you say you're as disappointed in Republicans as you are Democrats. 6 Republican senators are suggesting that the Republican health care bill is too conservative, including Louisiana's Bill Cassidy and Ohio's Rob Portman. The White House is also working to tackle tax reform. Earlier, I talked with Florida Congressman and House Freedom Caucus member Ron DeSantis, and I asked him if he thinks tax reform happens before the end of this year. Listen to what he said. Ken, I want to get your take.
I do, and I think that...
Walk us through it.
Well, one thing is when you use these budget rules, and I don't think we're going to get Democrat help, you can't increase the deficit after the budget window. There's nothing saying how long the budget window has to be.
He basically said, look, the budget window could be 30 years. It doesn't have to be 10 years.
Look, let's go back to where it all begun. In the campaign last year, our nominee talked about tax reform, talked about health care reform, okay, talked about immigration issues. The pressure is on us because we created the pressure in the campaign. Now, I happen to be for the border tax. I think,
you are?
Yeah, I think a moderate, over a period of time implementation, it'll work for everybody. And I'm a person that's heavily invested in the retail industry, who is supposed to be the most hurt.
Yeah, retailers are
But I don't want to
this.
debate that issue here. There's not enough time. The fact of the matter is, we should be honest enough to say we're not going to get this done. We're not going to get it done for a lot of reasons. The same with health care. Ironically, if we don't get anything done with health care, the proof of how bad Obamacare is will happen as these state exchanges collapse.
And it's imploding already. All the insurers have pulled out of the exchanges.
Look, these people that run these massive insurance companies, principally health care related, they understand how it works. Insurance is a very simple thing. I collect from a number of people over here to pay a number of people over here, and there's enough left in the middle, which is called my profit. But when you put together things like, and I'm not sure there's a way to solve this, when you put together things like pre-existing conditions, when you say somebody can be on their parents' policy until they're 26 years old, why wouldn't I want to be on my parents' policy? If I was 21,
right,
and Elaine and I were married,
why should I pay for it? Yeah.
Why should I pay for it? And more importantly, I know if I get a bad condition, all of a sudden I'm diagnosed with cancer, God forbid, at 24, no fear, I go down, I say, yeah, it's pre-existing, but you got to cover me.
Right.
The math doesn't work.
What does that do for the insurance industry?
Well, I think the insurance industry is doing what it should do, which is protecting itself. They're backing out. They're saying, hey, wait a minute, we can't play this game.
Right.
Look, there's a lot to be done in this country, but the biggest issue to me right now is the lack of sensitivity on the part of our leaders to the anger and the disappointment and the fear of the American people. Hillary Clinton, she ought to be your grandmother, okay? All this noise about caring, I know your pain, and I'm doing this for you and that. I want to watch what she does now as a private citizen for poor people, for people. I want to see her go to a charter school and get involved in helping these kids. I want to see her get involved in some...
Well, she started a political action committee.
Yeah, hold it. That's self-serving. That's how she could raise a lot of money. Okay? Look, and I'm not saying it just about Hillary. I'm saying it about all former politicians.
Yeah.
You pitch us on the basis, I'm running because I know I can help you and I want to help you. Well, guess what? If you want to help us, now you haven't got a job, now you got the time, now put your shoulder to the wheel. Come over to Ronald McDonald House with me. Come over to Harlem Children's Zone Promise Academy with me. Come on down to NYU Lang. Come on where I go, okay?
Yeah. And I know that you're doing that all the time. You're incredibly philanthropic and giving back, Ken. So
not about the money, about the time.
Yeah, it absolutely is. We're going to leave it there. Ken Langone, my special guest this weekend on Wall Street Week.
Congratulations, by the way. 2 years.
Thank you very much. We've had, Ken, 300% growth here on Mornings with Maria.
You deserve
since we launched.
You deserve every single percentage point.
300% growth.
On to the next 300.
Yeah, exactly. Ken Langone, great to see you.
Thank you for having me.